Yeah, good morning, all. Good morning, one and all. In the last class, we have discussed the frame structure type 2. Can anyone tell for which type, the for which mode it is applicable? Frame structure type 2. Can anyone tell? Don't know.
TD.
Okay. So there are three special subframes which consists of three fields. So can anyone tell which are the three special subframes of frame 2? That is frame structure type 2. Can anyone?
Uploading pilot time slot, guard period, and uploading pilot time slots.
Okay, good. So next we have discussed the physical resource blocks. So in that we have discussed resource grid, resource element, and resource block. So today we are going to discuss the supported MIMO modes. So here the multi-antenna transmission and reception, that is MIMO, is a physical layer technique that can improve both the reliability and throughput of the communications over the wireless channels. So here the multi-transmission and reception of a physical layer technique that can improve both the reliability and throughput of the communications over the wireless channels. So here it is considered a key component of the LTE physical layer from the start. So here the baseline antenna configuration in the LTE is two antennas at the cell site and two receive antennas at the user equipment. So here the higher order downlink MIMO is also supported with up to 4 transmit and 4 receive antennas. So the key component of the LTE physical layer, it consists of a key component of the LTE physical layer from the start. So here the baseline antenna configuration in the LTE, which has two transmit antennas in the cell site and two receive antennas in the user equipment. So here the higher order downlink MIMO is also supported with the up to the 4 transmit and 4 receive antennas respectively. So here the downlink transmission, which supports the both the single user MIMO, that is SU MIMO, and the multiple user MIMO, so that is MU MIMO. So for the single user MIMO, one or the multiple data streams are transmitted to a single user equipment through the space-time processing. So for the single user MIMO, one or the more multiple data streams which are transmitted to a single user equipment through the space-time processing. So in the multiple user MIMO modulation, so here the data streams are transmitted to the different user equipments using the same time frequency resource. So in the MIMO, we are transmitting to different user equipments using the same frequency resources. So here the supported SU MIMO modes are listed as follows. First one is the transmit diversity with space frequency black codes, that is SFBC. So here the transmit diversity with the space frequency black codes, that is SFBC. So next we have open loop spatial multiplexing, which supports 4 data streams. So next we have the closed loop spatial multiplexing with the closed loop precoding as a special case when the channel rank is 1, which is denoted as 1. So next we have the conventional direction of arrival, that is DOA based beamforming. So here the supported MIMO mode is restricted by the user equipment capability. So the PDSCH physical channel supports the PDSCH physical channel supports all the MIMO modes. So while other physical channels support the transmit diversity except PMCH, which only supports the single antenna for transmission. So this is about the supported MIMO modes. So next we have uplink SC-FDMA radio resources. So here for the LTE uplink transmission, so the SC-FDMA with the cyclic prefix, that is CP, is adapted. So for the LTE uplink transmission, so we are using the CP with SC-FDMA. So here nevertheless the uplink transmission has its own properties that is different from the downlink. Only the localized resource allocations and the consecutive subcarriers is allowed in the uplink. So here the SC-FDMA possesses most of the merits of OFDMA while enjoying the low PAPR, that is peak to average power ratio. So here a lower PAPR is highly desirable in the uplink as less expensive power amplifiers are needed to the user equipment and coverage is improved. So here compared to the conventional OFDMA, the SC-FDMA receiver has a higher complexity with which however it is not considered to be an issue in the uplink given the powerful computational capability at the base station. So here when compared to the conventional OFDMA, so the SC-FDMA receiver has the higher complexity, which however it is not considered to be an issue with the uplink given the power computational capability at the base station. So here an SC-FDMA transceiver has a similar structure of OFDM. So the parameterization of the radio resource in the uplink enjoys the similarities to that in the downlink channel. So here in additionally only the limited MIMO modes are supported in the uplink. So this is about the uplink SC-FDMA radio resources. So before going to the physical resource blocks of SC-FDMA, so here we have a frame structure. So for the frame structure type 1, the uplink. So here the frame structure, uplink frame structure is similar to that of the downlink. So the difference is that now we talk about the SC-FDMA symbols and the SC-FDMA subcarriers. So here in the frame structure type 1, an uplink radio frame consists of 20 slots of each 0.5 milliseconds. So and one subframe consists of 2 slots. So uplink radio frame consists of 20 slots of 0.5 milliseconds each, and one subframe consists of 2 slots. So in the frame structure type 2, it consists of 10 subframes with 1 or 2 special subframes including that is DWPTS, GP and UPPTS fields. So here a CP is inserted prior to each SC-FDMA symbol. So here each slot carries 7 SC-FDMA symbols in the case of normal CP, and 6 FDMA symbols in the case of extended CP. So next we have physical resource blocks of a CFDMA. So here as a CFDMA can be regarded as the conventional OFDMA with DFT based precoder. So the receiver grid of the uplink is similar to one of the downlink, which is illustrated in this figure. So it is similar to the downlink so it comprises a number of resource blocks in the time frequency plane. So here the uplink is similar to one of the downlink. So here it comprises the number of resource blocks in the time frequency plane. So here the number of resource blocks are in each resource grid. So that is NRBL depends on the uplink transmission bandwidth, which is configured in the cell, and that should satisfy the below condition. So here the number of resource grids. So the number of resource blocks in each resource grid, that is NRBUL, depends on the uplink transmission bandwidth configured in the each cell should satisfy the condition. So that is NRBUL. Must be in between the minimum and maximum UL. So that is NRB minimum comma UL. So where minimum NRB is 6 and the maximum NRB is 110. It corresponds to the smallest and largest uplink bandwidth respectively. So there are NSVRB into N symbol RB, resource elements in each resource block. So here the value of NSCRB and N symbol UL for the normal and extended CP are normal and extended CP. So there is only one subcarrier spacing which supports in the uplink. So which is delta F is equal to 15 kilohertz. So here the different from the downlink and DC subcarrier is used in the uplink. So as the DC interface is spread over the modulation symbols due to the DFT based precoding. So as for the downlink, each resource element, the resource grid is uniquely defined by the index pair. Index pair, that is small p comma sorry pair, that is k comma l. A slot where k is equal to 0, that is NRBUL into NSC RB minus 1, and L is equal to 0 tends to, that is N symbol UL minus 1 are the indices in the frequency and time domain respectively. So here for the uplink, no antenna port is defined. So as only the single antenna transmission is supported in the current specifications. So a PRB in the uplink is defined as N symbol UL consecutive SCFDMA symbols in the time domain, and NSCRB consecutive subcarriers in the frequency domain. So here corresponding to one slot in the time domain and 180 kilohertz in the frequency domain. So the relation between the PRB number so the relation between the PRB number, the frequency domain, and resource elements, that is K comma L, is a slot, and that is given by, that is N PRB is equal to K divided by NSCRB. So is there any doubts regarding physical resource blocks of SCFDMA? Anyone? So next we have resource allocation. So here the resource allocation in the uplink is performed at E node B. So similar to the downlink, the shared channel transmission and the channel dependent scheduling are supported in the uplink. So the resource allocation in the uplink is also performed at the E node B. So based on the channel quality measured and the uplink sounding reference signaling and scheduling request sent from the user equipments, and the E node B which assign a unique time frequency resource to the scheduled user equipment, which achieves the orthogonal intra-cell transmission. So you're using the time advance such that the transport blocks of different user equipments which are received synchronously at the E node B. So here the SCFDMA is able to support both the localized and distributed resource allocation. So here in the current specification, so only the localized resource allocation which is supported in the uplink, so which preserves the single carrier property and can better exploit the multi-user diversity gain in the frequency domain. So here compared to the distributed resource allocation, so the localized resource allocation is less sensitive to the frequency offset and also requires fewer reference symbols. So the resource assignment information for the uplink transmission, which is carried on the PDCCH and DCI format 0 by indicating a set of continuously allocated resource blocks. So however, not all integrated integer multiples are one of the resource block are allowed, which are assigned to the user equipment, which is to simplify the DFT design for SCFDMA transceiver. So here the only factors 2, 3 and 5 are allowed. So here in the frequency hopping is supported to provide the frequency diversity with which the user equipment can hop the difference between the different frequencies within or between the allocated subframes. So here the resource mapping for the different uplink channels are used. So this is about the resource allocation. So next we have supported MIMO modes. So here for the MIMO modes which are supported in the uplink, the terminal complexity and the cost are among the major concerns. So here the multiple user MIMO is supported, so which allocates the same time and frequency resources to